Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a segment of what domestic abuse may look like. So, before I start this week's topic, I would like to start with a scripture from the book of Psalms, chapter 11, verse 2. For lo, the wicked bend their bow, they make ready their arrow upon the string, that they may privily shoot at the upright. So let's get on with this week's topic. This week's topic I'm calling Fighting for Your Life. And this is just a revisit of what physical abuse may look like. Not only how it may look like, how it may start. I did take notes, but I am going to go um, off of personal experience on this particular subject. Many of you may not know this, but I was in a relationship of physical abuse for over a decade in my life. And so I know recently we've watched P. Diddy be in headlines over abusing Cassie, and that's kind of what sparked this topic. And I would have liked to have did it sooner, but either way, it's never too late to inform and be aware. So, what is physical abuse? Physical abuse is when a partner intentionally causes bodily harm or injury or trauma to their significant other. Physical punishment can make your partner become submissive unwillingly, fearful of their abuser, and it could also put the partner in a passive aggressive state of mind. There are three main signs of a physical abuser: extreme jealousy, possessiveness, extreme possessiveness, and unpredictability. And not to say that everyone who is extreme, jealous, or possessive or unpredictable could be physical abusers, but in most physical abusive cases, these are the three main characteristics of that type of person. Physical abuse in a relationship does not always present itself immediately. In many cases, it starts off slowly and it gradually graduates into the relationship. The abuser gains more courage to physically assaulting their victim through stages of abuse, gauging how the victim responds in the beginning. The abuser may start with a not so friendly shove, and they will explain the shove away for having a bad day, maybe at work, or maybe they got into an unrelated altercation with someone else that they took out on you. In most cases, someone who intimidated them or the abuser could not overpower themselves at that time. So for me, the first stage of physical abuse could include slapping their mate, pinching, choking, kicking, shoving, or using physical restraint on their victim. I know there were many times in my previous physical abusive relationship where my partner restrained me. Um, they would get on top of me and hold me down, pretty much like so, to keep me from fleeing, also to keep me from maybe becoming physical back with them. Once the perpetrator realizes they may have this toxic power over you, the victim, then the second stage of abuse starts, which this comes more in the form of emotional abuse. This is when the abuser starts to sow seeds of self-doubt in their victim. You made me do it. I would not have done it if you had not done this. It's your fault. I didn't mean to do X, Y, or Z. I didn't mean it. I was just upset. The abuse may even, the abuser, excuse me, may even buy you gifts to make up for their toxic deed and promise never to do it again. So, what are some ways that you can protect yourself from physical abuse? Number one, tell someone. Tell someone. The biggest thing we do as victims when we are in abusive relationships is we don't share it with anyone. We're embarrassed, we're ashamed, and we're afraid. We're embarrassed to let anyone know that we're being physically abused. We're too ashamed to tell someone because of how they might view us or criticize us. You know. Number two, take all violent behaviors toward you seriously, even if it's a push, an unfriendly push, or a pinch, or a slap in the face. Take it seriously because if they did this, it could definitely build up to more. Take a stand, which, if you're in a relationship where you're being physically abused in the beginning, taking a stand is something that is more likely for you to do in the beginning versus someone who has been experiencing it for many years and their self esteem may be withered and they may not feel like they can take that stand. But even within years of abuse, you can still take a stand. And I'm not going to tell you to stand up to your abuser in this case, but take a stand for yourself by telling someone, by gaining information, by gaining help, your local resources, trusted family and friends that you can depend on that can help you. Um, get therapy. Therapy works wonders, especially for people who are experiencing or have experienced any form of trauma. Be patient and kind with yourself. Yes, you may have accepted being in a physical abusive relationship. It does not make you a bad person. Maybe you love that person. Maybe you thought you could fix that person. Whatever the case may be, don't let anyone judge you, and definitely do not judge yourself because you chose to stay to be there for that person. But as soon as you can, get away. Rebuild your life and work on you. Do small things daily you find joy in doing to lift up your emotions. It's never easy getting out of a physical abusive relationship, whether it was one time, two times, or 100 times. It's never easy, and you do have to pick yourself back up. Um, and the last thing, Let others support you. You don't have to go through this abuse alone. And many victims of abuse already know that the first thing an abuser does is isolate you from your friends and family. You don't have to go through it alone. Someone out there will be there for you, will understand you, will hear you, and definitely will want to help you. So that is this week's segment of what domestic abuse awareness looks like. Sorry, guys. Make sure you like me on any of my social media pages: Facebook, Safe Space, YouTube, or TikTok. Thank you for watching and have a blessed week.